All right, let's talk about Jalen Hurts and the Eagles going up against the Todd Bowles-led defense. Should be an interesting matchup. I already made a video talking about the other side of the ball, Baker and the Buccaneers offense against the Eagles defense. This is my overall chart of the PFF grades that each team has for specific positional categories. This is the Eagles offense against the Buccaneers defense. As I mentioned, Jalen Hurts, you see that he's been the 7th highest graded passer for the Philadelphia Eagles, 6th overall highest quarterback, so a little bit better when you factor in rushing, 10th best receiving, and the best pass blocking going up against the 18th best pass rush. Definitely a pretty big advantage there. Advantages across the board, really. I mean, that's just what it is. The Buccaneers, 22nd in coverage, and then also the run blocking for the Eagles, 3rd best. Running hasn't been spectacular, but again, run blocking tends to matter more. Buccaneers' run defense has not been very good this season. Although the one thing I would mention is there have been moments where it's looked legitimately great. I mean, some of those moments were when Devin White isn't playing. Devin White will play in this game, so you might have some opportunities there. Definitely think that's kind of the thing. We saw them last game, and we'll get into it, but we saw them last time they played kind of run the ball in White's direction. But I want to start off with this play because I actually think that a lot of the personnel thing, because again, they played each other. It was week 3, so how much do we take into that? I think some. I think watching the game, you at least get kind of an understanding of how these teams are going to attack each other, which players might be the key players, and a lot of what they did was attack Zion McCollum, who you might remember as a player who was really a depth guy for Tampa Bay. This play, it's A.J. Brown going up one-on-one against Zion McCollum in man coverage, which is that's a mismatch. And this is one of the things that, as a Tampa Bay fan, drives me crazy about Todd Bowles is, he will, if you put A.J. Brown in the slot, he will put, sometimes not have a number 1 corner on him. This time, though, it's not really fair to blame Bowles because Carlton Davis, who some Buccaneers fans hate, I think he's very good, although he hasn't had his best year, he's out of this game. So they don't have one of their starting corners. And in fact, Jamel Dean went down early on in this game. So they were basically playing the whole game with backup corners. On this one, you see Hurts is going to take the snap. He looks towards Brown. He fires towards Brown. And look at how open he gets. Quite frankly, if Carlton Davis or Jamel Dean aren't playing in this game, you expect some really, quite frankly, domination. Now, it also is worth mentioning that A.J. Brown got injured. Seems like he's fine, seems like he'll play, but at what percent will he be? You also see Brown does great work in open space. A.J. Brown, really good player. Titans shouldn't have traded him, I don't think. Also probably shouldn't have fired Mike Vrabel. Weird stuff going on in Tennessee. But, the Eagles will certainly take it, and they definitely can make things happen. This one's another one where, again, they really went after McCollum in this game. This was a game I remember watching this, just getting very frustrated at the TV. Why didn't we go out and get a, good backup corner? Fortunately, Tampa Bay seems to be healthy at the right time. Again, that seems to be the case. But again, play like this. This is still something that can work against Carlton Davis or Jamel Dean, right? A route going to try to get into a gap in coverage. You see how this is the Smith, and when Smith starts to cut back right here, Hurts throws it in his direction. And again, worth mentioning, Smith also is banged up. He missed last week. So, both of those guys, what percent are they playing? Even Jalen Hurts has been banged up. So, and, also Baker Mayfield is banged up, right? A lot of injuries across the board here for these two teams. But also, just looking at it, look at how open. I know it's a little blurry, but you see the circles at the very least. Smith is wide open here. Hurts is able to hit him, and again, you just have to hope if you're Tampa Bay, those windows are not going to be as big. You have to hope corner play will be a lot better, because if it's anything like it was last game, they quite frankly don't stand a chance, because you got to be able to cover to stand a chance against the Eagles. You just do. Because something like this, the Eagles ran the ball very effectively against Tampa Bay, and I expect them to be able to do the same again. A lot of what they did was ran right at Devin White, who has been kind of a guy who's gotten highly criticized in Tampa Bay. Some of it has been by me. I'm that's fair. He is Pro Football Focus's 3rd lowest graded linebacker. His run defense grade is 30.8, which is as low as you'll see any grade. This one, though, not really entirely fair to blame him. Just making a common, point in general about this situation. You see how it's actually a halfback. It looks like a bit of a draw play. Neither linebacker really picked that up too quickly. Hey, Devin White, you made the tackle 13 yards down the field. So, not the worst play in the world. Just making it in general. Eagles run the ball so effectively. They're also so creative in how they run the football that, I just don't really see a way Tampa Bay is going to do a great job at defending it. I think it will come down to just every now and then getting a stop, forcing the Eagles to throw, and hoping you can cover on the outside. But you do have to be very careful if you're Tampa Bay not to get down, because that's what happened last time. Is the Eagles got ahead, of the game and just completely limited possessions in the second half. Tampa Bay just didn't have time to come back. So, if you get down like that, you're going to have some trouble. And also, stuff like this is a really underrated aspect of football in general, but a really important thing, which is actually the banner on the bottom of the screen plays into this. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they're talking about how often they blitz. Well, they are not technically blitzing here, but it's an exotic pressure. They have two players who usually aren't pass rushers rushing the passer, and then they have both interior defensive linemen dropping back into coverage. So they like to mix things up. They like to try and confuse opposing teams, but the Eagles' offensive line isn't just talented. Watch as when this play begins, they both pick up, and this is actually the halfback Swift on this play for the Eagles. He picks this up. Swift also had 8.1 yards per carry, 16 carries for 130 yards in this game, but also, being able to pick up a blitz might be just as important when you're playing a Todd Bowles-led team. In fairness on this one, when Hurts got outside the pocket, he still wasn't able to find anyone, had to throw the ball away, so still ended up being a positive play. But if you're thinking for Tampa Bay, we'll just blitz and get pressure that way, doesn't always work out that well against the Philadelphia Eagles. So yeah, to kind of do my quick recap here, Eagles probably going to run the ball very effectively, probably won't throw the ball as effectively as they did last time, and Hurts did turn the ball over twice, so potential some of those blitzes could still result in Hurts getting confused and Hurts turning the ball over. That's definitely a real thing. And in this game, I think, having a couple turnovers might not be enough. Whereas last game, obviously, wasn't a big deal. Turnover battle was 2-2 last time. But if one of these teams can win it 2-0, that might be enough to flip it. Overall predictions, looking to just on paper here, might be a little bit scary for Tampa Bay fans, right? Because for Philadelphia, their season points per drive is very good, 2.37. The Tampa Bay defensive points per drive is okay, 1.9. It's not great, it's not terrible, maybe better than you might realize, but still nothing to write home about. And then the first matchup, it was a disaster, 2.56 points per drive for the Eagles. I'm not expecting anything quite that way because, again, Tampa Bay had to put so much resources in the passing game, they just couldn't stop the run at all. Still don't think they'll be able to stop the run even with putting more resources, but maybe they'll do a better job at doing it. Even still, though, I'm predicting 2.2 points per drive in this one. The Eagles' offense, actually, again, it was a disaster against the Giants, but it actually was, doing a pretty good job even in their disaster streak. I mean, again, we have to mention, in two videos I haven't brought it up, so we have to mention just the awful streak that the Eagles are on. They got crushed by the 49ers, which, okay, that's the 49ers, that happens. Then they got crushed by the Cowboys. They lost to Drew Lock. They barely beat Tommy DeVito. Then they lost to Kyler Murray, and they lost to the Giants, just this past week, and got crushed by the Giants to the point where their starters basically just gave up halfway through the game. Okay, this isn't happening. So because of that, that's definitely something that's going to leave a sour taste in everyone's mouth. But my prediction, if this is a 10-drive game, I am still leaning towards Philadelphia in this one. I think I'm going to give them the edge. I'm going 22-20. So I'm predicting a close game. I do think this is one of the more coin flip games heading into this. And again, a lot of this comes down to the health. Quite frankly, if A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith aren't healthy, well, then I'm easily predicting that the Buccaneers win. And if Baker Mayfield isn't healthy, I'm easily predicting that the Eagles win. Like, the health of those two teams is really going to be important, in my opinion. But if I assume everybody is healthy going into this, then I have to give the slight edge to Philadelphia, even with kind of their free fall right now. Could this game go either way? Yeah, it could. That's what I think. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.